to Crushing Kayfabe. My name is Jason Garish. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a while. Unfortunately, the show had to go on a brief hiatus. A lot of things going on in the real world. Unfortunately, couldn't do the show, but we're back, and hopefully it's time for good. So everything's cool. Unfortunately, life gets in the way of things sometimes. Everybody experiences that. Got a ton of stuff going on. Wow. Unfortunately, I only got about 20 or some odd minutes to talk about it, but hey, let's start off with the NFL world. Nope, I take that back. You know what? Before I say anything, before I do anything, you know what? I wish everybody has a good Memorial Day, and please take a minute to remember those that died for our freedom and died defending our country and served our country and gave everything that they had. Please, I would love it if everybody today just kind of takes a brief moment and reflects on that and is extremely grateful and thanks God for giving us the freedoms that we have, which were bought with the lives of other men. So please, if you have a minute, even if you don't, please stop, take a minute, and reflect on what was sacrificed for this country and for all of us, because Memorial Day, a lot of people don't understand the background behind it. You know, it is referring to our fallen heroes and whatnot. So please, I'm just begging everyone to take a moment and be grateful for everything that we have. Heard some running water in the background. I think my wife was filling it for the dogs and cats back there. I'm sorry about that, everyone. Probably going to have a few miscellaneous noises throughout the podcast. We have new puppies, so they're a little rambunctious. So if you hear them in the back or it sounds like the house is falling down, it's them. It's okay. Don't call anybody. We're all good. It's just, like I said, the dogs are a little crazy. So, yeah. but yeah, like I said, a lot of things going on. You might notice, unfortunately, my arm entered the camera. I've got a real bad allergic reaction right now to something. So, my eyes, my nose, everything just, my nose is itching like crazy right now, but, I'm not imitating Tony Khan in case you're wondering, but yeah, really nasty infection that, I was on antibiotics for. So, not infection, but allergic reaction. So yeah, hopefully that's going to clear up real soon, but I know my eyes have gotten a billion times better. But yeah, hopefully that clears up real soon. And like I said, you're gonna hear a lot of miscellaneous noise. I apologize for that. But yeah, starting things off, like I said, Memorial Day 2023. Beautiful day out here in Western Tennessee. I hope it's going well for everyone out there, and I hope it's just as beautiful for everyone. What do we got? On the NFL front, getting close to preseason, I'm getting excited. Being a Raiders fan is tough, though. Holy cow. Latest news, Jimmy Garoppolo is injured. Is probably going to miss all of OTA. He might not even play. They might end up releasing him due to what's the word I'm looking for? It basically due to the construction of his contract, he might not even be. Just another faux pas from this management. This is so sad. Josh McDaniels is really in the hot seat. He comes into the season with extremely low rating from outside sources, and it's really I'd be surprised if after the season, or maybe even halfway into the season, you don't see Josh McDaniels as head coach anymore. He handled the whole Derek Carr situation. He handled Darren Waller's situation. He handled the entire season just horribly. I've been willing to give the guy a chance, but he's dropping the ball every single opportunity he gets. He did so in Denver too, and it's sad. It's really sad. I think the guy has potential to be really good. I do think he has a high football acumen. I think he has a good high football intelligence as far as plays and whatnot. On the personnel level, he is just absolutely atrocious, I think. just not good. And the way, like I said, the way he handled certain things was absolutely deplorable, and not happy about that. I mean, it looks like we got some good picks once in the draft. I mean, this kid they picked up, defensive end in the first round, just looks like an absolute beast, and I think he's going to make an impact right away. And he not only did he play edge, but he played interior too. So it's very possible they could have a defensive line that includes, Chandler Jones. What's his name? Tyree. I can't even think of his name. I'm so sorry right now. But the rookie and Mad Max Crosby, which would be absolutely terrifying to Tyree Wilson. Yeah, jeez, this guy, the wingspan on this guy is absolutely insane. He is a freak of nature, and I mean that in the best way possible. Just absolutely huge wingspan, and I think that his athletic ability is going to fit right in immediately and make impact immediately. I think he's going to be terrorizing offensive lines, and I really think if they can find a way, like I said, to get them, all three of them, he might be a little bit too, I don't want to say small, but he's not your typical defensive tackle or nose tackle where the 300+ pound guy that's just lumbering run stopper. This guy's more of just a beast. He's kind of an amped up athletic version of Crosby in some way. I mean, he just that wingspan is incredible. People are actually making parallels to Chandler Jones and him, younger Chandler Jones. I think he's going to learn a lot from these guys, and like I said, I think he's going to make an impact immediately. I could be wrong, but just incredible, incredible athletic talent there. But he picked up a couple of other needs in the draft too. But now let's see how this all goes about, because last year our defensive. The coaching itself defensively was absolutely horrible. And play calling defensively was horrible. Just calling the wrong plays in the wrong situations, and just once again deplorable. So we're gonna have to recover from that, and hopefully things work out. But they got an absolute beast up front now. Hopefully he stays healthy and progresses the way he should. Hopefully there's no character issues. I didn't see any reports on that from this kid, but that's one thing that, obviously we've been duped before. You get these tremendous athletes, and they're absolute garbage and cancers in the locker room, and just don't know how to behave in a professional manner on a professional sports team. So I'm hoping that this kid has a brain in his head to match his athletic abilities, because if he does, he's going to be a terror for a long time to come. I see Derek Carr now. They big news. The Saints hired Don Gruden to help Carr to assimilate to the Saints offense. Good move. Despite what you might think of him, I mean, he stepped down. He was not fired, and from the Raiders, and I mean, he's someone that Carr is obviously familiar with. I've got mixed feelings about that. Obviously, I don't condone what Gruden had said or in any of the emails. I still think it was just a distraction, though, from what was really going on during that investigation. Because if you notice, after the investigation, or after Gruden stepped down, the whole kind of murmurings and whatnot over the Washington organization, Washington Commanders, formerly the Redskins, died down almost immediately. So once they kind of had their poster boy, their scapegoat in Gruden, it threw a lot of attention away from the Commanders. So I think there's a lot more to investigate on that organization. I think that's going to come out eventually. I think there were some illegal things done there, and I think there were some unethical things done there, and I think that's going to eventually come out. And I could be wrong, but I still think that Gruden bore the brunt of that because they obviously came upon his emails while investigating Washington. But I've already said my piece in the past, so I'll let that be what it may. But some interesting things going on, and obviously Carr's going to reunite with Foster Moreau in New Orleans. So I'm really interested to see how they do. I mean, Dennis Allen was pretty much a failure when he came over to the Raiders, but he's getting the second chance around. I'm willing to see what he does with the Saints. So let's give them a chance to see what. Like I said, I'm gonna be a Derek Carr fan regardless. I'm gonna be a Raiders fan regardless, you know. And when I don't root for the Raiders, I typically root for Tennessee Titans. So I mean, but I'll be a fan regardless. You know, it just might not be happy with all the decisions they make. I mean, like I said, I'm trying to think. You know, a ton of things going on, like too much to go on around. But let's see. On the ton going on the wrestling front, obviously. You know, I think in my last podcast, this shows how long ago it was. I think I last discussed the sale of WWE and what that kind of brought about. I mean, we've seen Vince reintroduced. I think you've seen his hand in some of the creative, unfortunately. I still see a lot of Triple H in there, thankfully. I'm hoping it kind of stays that way as far as Triple H being the primary driving creative force. Because Vince needs to retire. He needs to leave. He needs to step down and just go off into the sunset. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen. You know, he kind of screwed over his daughter to get back in. And it seems as though he was a vital in this acquisition, you know, of the company that owns UFC right now, acquiring WWE. It does appear if he was vital, but still, from a creative and a fan standpoint, I really need to see him go bye-bye. I really do. Not to mention he's a legal liability at this point, and that's not good. You know, but still some good stuff going on. I mean, we had Night of Champions on Saturday, which actually Central Time was about noon here, so Night of Champions maybe in Saudi Arabia, but not here. A continuation of the Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes feud. I kind of ended kind of the way I expected, but I expected more of a beatdown. I didn't expect Lesnar to stop after, and I didn't expect. I figured he'd have to be pulled off of Cody, and I thought that somebody would have to come out, and there might have even been a double cross possibly involving Triple H. You know, because they did have in that, was it Raw that had the interaction between Triple H and Cody, and that was good. I enjoyed that a lot, and I'm looking forward to more interaction between Triple H and Cody, because there's a real easy storyline there to tell, which everybody kind of expects, but you don't know if it's going to happen or not. But if you think back, you know, what was Cody doing on the initial pay-per-views for AEW? He was criticizing, he was openly speaking out against Triple H, and he called him out on a number of occasions, and he even broke a throne that was very reminiscent of what Triple H used to use. So there's a storyline right there built right in, and it would be really easy to do that. I don't think Triple H is going to come out of retirement and wrestle. I think, if anything, he'll have advocates for him, kind of doing his bidding, kind of like either Lesnar or maybe even Seth Rollins, because that's the other part of Night of Champions. Seth Rollins became the World Heavyweight Champion, being AJ Styles. A belt that a lot of people are saying was custom made for Seth Rollins. A lot of people initially thought it was going to be intended for Cody. It's possible that eventually this is going to be Cody's belt. It's very possible, because I can see him beating Rollins for the belt. How that plays out with the Bloodline storyline, I don't know. I still think a lot of the Bloodline storyline is going to revolve around the Rock schedule, because I think eventually they want to lure the Rock in, and I think they want him to face off against Roman Reigns. For the belt, no. But for the head of the table whole thing, I absolutely believe that. I think the storyline writes itself. I mean, even like I'd mentioned previously in Young Rock, there was an episode that said that there was a very young Roman Reigns, an actor portraying, obviously, in the series, and there was a mention from Rock of saying that, you know, this match is something that's WrestleMania worthy kind of thing, and I think that might have been a clue or a kind of foreshadowing of what's eventually going to come, and I think Triple H wants that. I think he wants a match between The Rock and Roman Reigns, and I think the people will go absolutely nuts for it, and I think it'll be a good match. But a lot of that depends on The Rock's schedule, because this guy is the number one draw in cinema. Despite Black Adam's failure, he's still gigantic, and his schedule's got to be chaotic and crazy. I'm hoping eventually they produce more of the Young Rock series, because there's a lot of stuff still to be explored there. There's still a lot of story left to tell. I mean, there's some stuff that I've read and heard whatnot, and with Rock's upbringing, that still needs to be addressed. That would make brilliant stories. So I'm hoping they explore that further. But yeah, Night of Champions kind of went down the way we thought it would. No real big surprises. I mean, it was pretty predictable, and you kind of expect that from Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia, basically because pretty much the Saudi government is booking that event. You know, they're dictating what happens. So the only major belt you saw that was exchanged, except for, you know, obviously the new world heavyweight, but also Bianca losing the belt to Asuka. That's a big one right there. But I think that's just going to set up a feud down the road, and I think Bianca Belair is going to get that back. Other than that, you know, the Rhea Ripley match was a squash, which we kind of saw coming, foresaw. Nobody really saw that as being a real challenge. But, you know, Natasha gets to have more of the spotlight, and she kind of deserves that. I mean, she's been a great hand for the WWE, and she's going to be, I think, either a producer or a trainer in the future, and really be beneficial to that company. So it's she's getting up there. I mean, as far as wrestling age, you know, and I think that's how things are going to work out. And I think she's going to get something backstage, and they're going to keep her around because she is a very, very important part of the women's division. Whether you want to see her win a title, whether you want to see her out there or not, she could be extremely effective and productive as a trainer and a producer, or whatever you want to put her backstage as. She could work great with the women and help out the young talent immensely, I think. So, you know, aside from that, you know, what do we have? You know, off the top of my head, wow. I mean, Mustafa Ali put on a good show, obviously, and you knew that was going to happen. And in addition to that, the whole bloodline versus, you know, with Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens was kind of a shock to me, because I didn't know how that was all going to play out in the sense of real life. I didn't know what was going to happen with Sami Zayn, because there are some legitimate threats to his life, to his well-being when he goes to Saudi Arabia. You know, the Syrians and the Saudis have not been on friendly terms for a long time. I know recently there have been peace talks and negotiations, whatnot, and really, I think having Sami out there was really groundbreaking, kind of really gutsy on his part, and I applaud him for that. I really do, because it wouldn't, you know, surprise. Obviously, he's turned down going in the past for very legitimate reasons. You know, he doesn't want to die. And going out there in Muslim attire, and speaking of Arabic, wow, that really in many ways that stole the show for me right there. It was just really, I was immensely impressed with Sami Zayn at that moment and doing the introductions and whatnot. Just tremendous job, great job, and the match was pretty good too. And as pretty much everyone predicted, the Usos were going to come into play somehow, which they did at the end, interfering, and now Roman Reigns is mad at them, and that kind of sets up the whole Jimmy Uso thing, and which kind of flip-flops the story, which we kind of all expected Jey Uso to be the one that eventually confronts Roman, and it looks like it's going to be Jimmy now who's being the one that's not towing the line, the one that's being confrontational with Roman and whatnot. And that's kind of a nice little flip. I wasn't seeing that coming. So cool. Nice little storyline right there. Cool. In addition to that, obviously, we saw continuation of the storyline with the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and the Bloodline, but now it's going to focus internally with Bloodline, which is kind of cool. I did love seeing Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens giving props out to the Usos, saying, "Hey, you guys are the best in the Bloodline," and that was really cool to see that level of respect, So good storytelling there, good job. It looks like I haven't seen any of the news saying otherwise, so it looks like everyone made it home safely. So great. I always kind of get a little nervous when I see the I like to call it the Blood Money pay-per-view, but I always get a little nervous when I see this pay-per-view coming up because of that, because people's lives are legitimately at risk, and that bothers me. I know they're making millions of dollars on this show, but that's scary. That's got to be terrifying for the individuals, wrestlers, families, and whatnot. We had a couple of other pay-per-views going on this weekend, too. We had... AEW was a Double or Nothing, and not too many changes there, except for Jade Cargill dropping the belt, which is very welcome. I'm hearing rumors that she's going to be taking some time from AEW. Hopefully she learns how to wrestle in that time, but no. But the girl looks like $1 million, but she is green as heck, and it shows in a lot of her matches, but she's gotten a lot better on the mic, and I applaud her for that. And it's good for that they're trying to build up homegrown stars, which is awesome. Orange Cassidy retained his belt, beating 22, 23 other people in that match. MJF retained his belt, so with the pillars of the 4 pillars of AEW, I haven't yet to see that. I'm really looking forward to see it. I think that's got to be good. Jeff Hardy made his return and made a big botch, which once again shows that this man really needs to get out of wrestling right now and soon. Just kind of do his creative thing and stop punishing his body, please, Jeff. Stop destroying your legacy. Retire. Be done with it, please. In addition to that, we even Impact Wrestling had a pay-per-view this week. I haven't had an opportunity to view any of the results from that, but like I said, huge weekend to cover wrestling and to be part of wrestling. I wish to God I had more time, but unfortunately I see the clock is ticking away and I've got to wrap things up. But thank you everybody for your support. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for everything. Once again, like I said, thank you. Thank you for being patient with me during the hiatus. The studio's an absolute mess right now, but we'll hopefully have that straightened out and have everything going back on its regular schedule soon. I thank you everyone for listening and watching, though. Everybody have a great Memorial Day, please, and take a moment to remember the people that gave everything, their lives, to make sure that we can live the lives that we have now. Thank you, and have the great country that we do. Thank you. I'd like to send a shout out to Then Now. You can pick up some of my merchandise there, and you can pick up some of my wife's merchandise there. That's Then Now Flea Market, downtown Trenton, Tennessee. Check them out. Keep those prayers coming for the people of Ukraine. We had more drone strikes in Kyiv So those people are struggling, and they deserve their freedom just as much as everyone else. So please, dear God, keep those prayers coming. Keep sending to legitimate organizations to help them out, because those people, they're doing. I've heard some reports of some really rotten things going on there now, and those people need your help. So prayers going out to Ukraine. Once again, though, like I said, have a tremendous Memorial Day weekend, and God bless everyone. Thank you.